Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on this Monday Night Live. I'm Sandy Sandler, the creator of the Bowdabra Bowmaker, and with me tonight is Joette Lutrick, and she's one of our design team members. And Joette, we're going to start with Joette, and she's going to show you how to make a really super easy cemetery saddle that doesn't use floral foam and doesn't use glue. And she'll talk about how to attach it to the gravestone. So I'm going to let Joette get started. Um, and hold on one sec. And we're going to go to Joette. Whoops, we went to me. We're going to go to
Here I
Joette, and
am.
Joette's going to get started. Okay, cool. Thanks,
Oh,
Joette.
you're welcome. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I want to show you Memorial Day is coming up. And if you're like me, I have a lot of family cemetery headstones I go out and decorate during this time of the year. And I'm showing you about $25 worth of silks. And there's a few scraps in here. But altogether, that's about $25 worth if you go to the dollar store, Dollar General, Dollar Tree. And here's a hack for you. If you go to the Dollar General, if you have one in your area, they have still have dollar stuff, whereas Dollar Tree, it's about 25 plus. So just a heads up if you're, and they still have dollar bushes. So I've got some in there. So I'm taking a length of Bowdabra bow
Hi,
wire, pretty
Rose.
good length, folding it in half, and I'm going to place it down in the center of the Bowdabra, cut the ends underneath and out of my way. And I'm going to take some of my foliage. This was a ficus branch. I've just cut it in half. And I'm going to just start out by building a base of foliage for my cemetery saddle. So start placing it down like that, one on each side. I'm just working from left to right. And here's, I don't remember where these came from. This is some of my scraps, but it has a bluish tint and I'm doing red, white, and blue for this one. So I'm just going to go back and forth. I'm going to try
But
to keep them somewhat
this
even.
will work with any florals that you have. So just basically, you can take florals that maybe were in another project and lay them down into the Bowdabra, and the Bowdabra will hold everything for you.
That's right. That's what's the greatest thing is it would normally take me quite a while to make one, and I can knock them out in 10, 15 minutes a piece. So this is a Boston fern. It came from the Dollar General. I'm just going to clip two pieces off instead of using them whole. So I'll have one on one side and one on the other. And I'm building, I want things to flow forward more than the back side because you want the back side, you want it the same around, but it can be flatter on the back side because you want it a little wispy around the stone. The good thing about this little recipe I'm showing you is a lot of times you can get big giant saddles and they'll cover your stone or cover the names, and you don't want that. You want that to show, and you want to just leave a little bit of a memorial on the top that's going to last through the weather for a season or two. So I'm taking linear, or I like to use linear pieces on this on the edges. So I'm building, this is establishing my length, and now I'm going to start working into the center. So I've got a bush of these little mums. I could take them and fold them in half and use them like that, but they're going to be a little bit longer. So this time I don't always clip them off, but this time I'm going to clip this bush apart. I want to get as
Hi,
much
Maria, and
mileage as
hi,
possible.
Joy.
Like to get as much mileage as possible out of my $25 worth of flowers. That adds up when you're doing a lot. Now you can make it smaller and you can use less expensive, more Dollar Tree bushes or some of the Dollar General dollar bushes and make this a lot smaller. It's all the same procedure. So I'm taking, just going to build in this little section here with these maroon color flowers. Thank you everybody for joining. If you are just getting here, please let us know where you're watching from, and you could be the winner of a roll of Bowdabra Scrunchy Ribbon tonight. So there's not an even amount of flowers on this one. It'll all blend
Uh-oh,
in at the end. Am I frozen?
you're
Am I here?
sort of frozen. You're there now. It froze
Okay.
for a second.
Well, did they hear me say comment where they're watching from and they could win a roll
Yeah.
of Bowdabra Scrunchy Ribbon? Okay, that's what was important. So I'm taking another bush. This time, I like the length on this one, so I'm just going to cut the longer rows out, and I'm going to fold these two shorter roses over like that. And if you notice, I'm even leaving the stems on because that actually gives it some stability in this, but because we're not using the floral foam and we're not using any hot glue to do this, it's just all going to be held together with that Bowdabra bow wire. So I'm saving this for the end. Don't want to waste anything. And here's some of those $1 bushes I got. So I'm going to lay these in and scoot them in a little bit closer underneath the ones that we just laid down. At the end, we'll pull them up. So it doesn't matter if they're touching a little bit right now because they won't be. And here's a little Dollar Tree bush, and looks like there's 3 on each side. So again, I'm folding it. I want you to see this. Fold one down, and you have that. So lay it in. If you want it, I'll show you another thing. If you want it closer and more of a cluster, you can actually lay it in like that, and then you can pull it forward at the end. So I think that's what I'll do. I want it right there, and I'll fluff it in closer. And now we've got the stem of fillers. I'm going to clip all these loose. I can put one in the middle, one on the left, and one on the right. So I'm trying to keep everything as balanced as possible so it'll be a nice full and even spray. This is a spray, and they can cost you a lot of money if you have to order one from the florist or go buy one of those pre-made ones that are actually pretty ugly usually. You can put more thought and make it more meaningful when you make it yourself. So I've got 4 things left. We're almost done. So I'm going to clip this down a little shorter so I don't, and I can actually use some of this foliage. So I'm going to clip that part. This is one of my bushes that I had left from another project. I'm going to lay this one here, lay this hydrangea here, and let's make this rose stem a little shorter. I'll lay it over here, and I'll lay this filler flower over here.
Yeah,
I'll
it
make
is
all that
amazing,
stand up.
Maria, how much fits in the Bowdabra.
Oh,
And Joette
I'm
is the
about to show
queen
you.
of Stuff the Bowdabra.
That's right. That's my favorite game. So I've got this piece of foliage left. I'm going to put one piece of the foliage on one side and one on the other. So, and this is pretty full. I could, knowing me, I could still stuff a few more things in there, but I'm not going to try. I'm out of flowers. My table's clear, so I'm good. So I'm going to reach under here and pull out the wire. I've got a looped end and I have loose ends, so I'm going to pull those loose ends through the loop, pull it tight. And then, are you ready for this? Let's get this clear so you can see it. Ta-da! It's holding it together, and I'm just going to pull it tight. It's already pulled tight. I'm going to separate those ends, bring them to the back, and tie them in a nice tight knot. There's always a little bit of slack, so you can twist it to keep from losing it. And take this is a wire, but it also will tie knots. So I'm going to hit it about 3 times, and then I'm going to cut it off. But I could use that to help tie it onto my saddle, but I've got zip ties and that's going to be sufficient enough. So move that aside, and this should be my front. So I'm going to try to fluff it upside down. So this is that little cluster of flowers I laid in here, and I'm just going to start pulling. So these are wired silks. You're not working with fresh, so you do have the freedom to pull, bend, manipulate, get them how you want them, where you want them. So pull these up, and I've got this one here. So I'm fluffing the middle, and then now I'm going to move down and start separating the rest of it and pulling it apart. so everything shows. Pull it, and this is this is how I fluff out flowers. I'm not fluffing a bow. And if you noticed, I just used the Bowdabra and did not even make a bow because I say it's for bows and more.
And
And
you
just
made that
keep
in 10
fluffing.
minutes.
Is that really?
Yep.
See, I'd still be just putting the foliage around the frame if I was doing it the florist way that I did for 40 years. So I can't believe I've been a florist that long. Goodness, I'm not that old, am I? All right. So I don't feel like it anyway, but I guess I am. I did get started when I was a kid, but still. And I can't tell from this side how fluff to have it, but I'm going to flip it around. You'll get to see the back and I'll see the front. So just they bend. Now, if you could do like I just did, I didn't bend, I pulled and I pulled the head off. So I'm going to put that head back on. And that's it. Now I'm going to show you how to attach it to the frame. So look at that. And look, and also, before I put it on the frame, look, I have a no container centerpiece if I'm at an event and I needed some inexpensive centerpieces. So it can be more than just a saddle. So here's my cemetery saddle wire frame form. And this is these bend and you can shape them. There's one row too. There's smaller ones. You can bend these down and these arms down and it has a little bit of rubber around it and it secures it around the headstones. I'm gonna place this on top and get it centered. And I'm just gonna lay it upside down for a minute so you can see what I'm doing. So once it's centered, you take a zip tie and you take some of those stems that I wasn't cutting off are going to be your best friend now because this will give you the support to uh, zip tie to the saddle. So I'm gonna do that. You want to get it nice and tight because you don't want it slipping around.
Yeah,
Do
Sherry,
it
it's
one.
really wonderful for holding things because it make the florals, I could never do them by hand. So the Bowdabra helps me do it.
Well, when I crushed my left elbow really bad one time, I wasn't supposed to be able to ever do this again, and I discovered the Bowdabra. I wanted to show you one more thing. You can go across the bars like that as well. I just did it here around that, but either way, it's going to hold tight. So there you have it.
And
Instant, I mean, almost
how do you attach it to the
this,
headstone, Joette?
these arms with the little rubbery thing, those are for grips. You just shape it, bend it like that, and till it fits. And it just it fits right on top, nice and snug, and you can shape it and get it tighter. But those rubber areas right there are going to keep it from slipping off. And
Okay,
that's it. And you can't even
okay.
tell. It looks just like better than the ones you buy at the store already made. And it's way less expensive than one of the $75 ones that you buy that the florist
No,
makes you for 75 to 100, could be more, depends on your
it's
area. But
absolutely,
that's it.
absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, Joette, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll probably see you again next week. Bye now.
Yes, I'll be here. Bye bye.
Oh, Nancy asked, where do you buy the saddle?
You can get these at Hobby Lobby, Amazon. The florists will sell them to you even. You don't need a double. I've got the double here, but you can do just a single wide. And either this actual recipe that I just showed you how to make this will fit on either one.
Okay,
You
great.
can use
Thank
it
you
for
so
both.
much.
You're
Okay, bye,
welcome. Good night,
Joette.
everybody. Bye.
Okay, everybody. So now I don't stuff the Bowdabra like Joette does, but we're going to show you some. I'm going to make a mini lantern swag. So just in case for anybody who's watching the repeat, please let us know and let us know where you're watching from. And I'm going to take my silver Bowdabra bow wire. And I'm going to cut a piece long enough so that I can fold it in half and put it in my Bowdabra. So just bear with me for 1 sec. So I'm going to just fold my Bowdabra bow wire in half, lay it down into the Bowdabra, and tuck the ends underneath. Then I'm going to go to the overhead camera so you can see better what I'm doing. And I'm going to take my ribbon, and I do a little mountain in the middle only because for me it shapes better when I do that. So these are our tails, and I'm just going to lay this down in here and lay this one in here, and then take my ribbon. Oh, whoops, I'm going to actually take my florals and lay those down and lay this here and lay this one in here. I'm just going to twist this over here and lay this down, and then put in my lavender and lay those down. Then I'm going to take my, I'm just going to take this and lay this down in here and bring this here, and then just take the center, and that's how you would make a 2-loop bow. So it's really simple. And Maria, it's good to see you too. And then I'm just going to make a fold and twist bow, which is a regular loopy bow. And we're just going to fold it and twist it and fold and twist. And then after this, in honor of Earth Day, I'm going to show you guys, we're just going to lay this down like that. In honor of Earth Day, I'm going to show you guys, I guess we can have another, let's just cut this because I don't need all that ribbon. And in honor of Earth Day, I'm going to show you guys a really great way to use your scraps of ribbon. And then we're going to make a flower hair bow, which is super simple to make in the Bowdabra. And so what's everybody been up to? Let me know where you're watching from. And I'm just, hi Joanne. And we have almost 1,000 videos on our YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe. And I'm going to now just push this down here and just give everything a good scrunch. And now I'm going to take my Bowdabra bow wire, and I have a loop on one side and the 2 ends on the other side. And I'm going to just pull my 2 ends through my loop, just like it's a slip knot. Pull it tight while it's still in the Bowdabra. Now, if you're watching us for the first time, please let me know. And also let me know which, it's TG, it's hot here too. And also, don't forget to join our Facebook fan gallery, where everybody shares their Bowdabra projects. And I'm just going to, whoops, have it out of the camera angle. I'm just going to tie a knot here. And I'm going to just fold this over. Now I'm going to shape out my bow. So I'm going to clip this in here and just shape by pulling everything apart. This one here and my loops here. And I'm just putting my fingers in the loops. Whoops, I grabbed the wire there. Bring the wire over here so it doesn't get tangled up. This is something I never have a problem with, but here we go. But as you guys see, we're doing all this live, so mistakes happen. So my dog she's a white Siberian Husky, and she's decided that she's at war with my gardener. So my gardener fixes my sprinklers, and then we'll just come back to the front camera, and tie this on here. So she pulls, my gardener fixes my sprinklers, and then she goes out and she pulls the sprinklers out of the ground, which I don't even know how she does it, but it's very, very frustrating, as I'm sure you know. So we're just going to tie this on here, and I'm just making a knot on the back, and you can see that it makes a very pretty lantern swag. So simple. So I hope everybody enjoyed this part of our video. And now I'm going to move aside, and we're going to make a bow using scraps of ribbon and some scraps of florals. So this is a great way to use up your scraps of ribbon. So I'm going to take my Bowdabra bow wire. Actually, I think I'm going to use the gold. And I take a piece that's long enough that I can fold it in half. So it's about 24 inches. And fold it in half and lay it down into my Bowdabra, and I'm just going to tuck the ends underneath. Thank you, Nancy. And so now I'm just going to fold these in half. And again, I'm doing my little mountain in the middle because I think it shapes better that way. And we're just going to make this here. And I kind of shape it as I go a little bit, so it's a little easier to fluff out at the end. And we're just going to take this here, lay this down in here, and take my pansy ribbon and lay this like that, and our bubble ribbon, and lay that in here. So you can see how absolutely simple this is. Thank you, Joanne. And lay everything in here. And so just don't forget that we have our Bowdabra blog has literally, it's at bowdabra.com/blog. We literally have thousands of projects on there that you can learn to make. We have both videos and photos that you can follow and learn to make using the Bowdabra. And I'm just going to lay my little florals down in here and take my wand, give everything a good scrunch. And oh, you're right, Maria. The activity that my dog has it's funny, but it's not funny. We've done everything. We've put big rocks. I mean, my gardener is like, she's so strong. And he thought I had, with all the damage that she's done, he thought I had like 3 or 4 dogs. But she's actually getting better now. So, I mean, she's a perfect dog, except when it comes to my yard. And let's go ahead and, now I could tie this, I could put this on a present with a glue dot, or I could tie this onto a wreath. This can make a really pretty wreath bow. Oh, let me go to the overhead camera so you can see me fluffing. Sorry about that. I should have done that to begin with. And fluff it all out here. And you have a really pretty bow that works for a wreath or on a present, or this, you could make the same bow maybe a little bit smaller and it could be a cute little hair bow. So there's so many uses for all these. And I love this because in honor of Earth Day, it's a great way to save and use your scraps of ribbon, because I know we all save them and you can never like figure a use for them. So now I'm going to go back to the overhead camera and I'm going to make a little flower hair bow. So I'll put my big Bowdabra, and we have a winner from Houston, TG from Houston, you're watching us on, I think I saw you on YouTube. So definitely email me at Bowdabra. Oh, I have to put my wire in. That's something that I always forget. At Bowdabra@me.com, and let me know your mailing address and what color, whether you want the red, the gold, or the silver scrunchy ribbon. It's a very unique ribbon. You can use it to make a scrunchy bow. So we're just going to take this in here. And what we've done here, now this I'm using a wired ribbon because it shapes much better with a wired. And we're just cutting a point at the end so it's opposite of dovetailing. And that makes our leaves. And then for our petals, we do a half semicircle on each side. And I'm just going to lay that down in here. And lay this down in here. Whoops, wrong side up. And then I do have this little piece here. And then we're just we're just leveling this so it's a little different type of flower than we normally make. But I think this looks really pretty. And I'm just going to bring this in here. Maria's going to make a bow. Okay, TG, just let me know which color you want. And I'm just going to separate these here. Take my mini Bowdabra, my wand, and scrunch everything down. And I'm going to have to hold it down because it wants to pop up. And I'm going to just take this and take my wire, which got caught. There we go. And I probably should have made this in the big Bowdabra, but it works. How many of you have the mini Bowdabra versus the big Bowdabra? And we're just going to scrunch this in. Pull it tight while it's still in the Bowdabra. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get a notification every time we go live. Or, hi, Gloria. And I'm going to just pull that out and then bring it around to the back. And we're going to tie a knot. And tie another one. So wasn't that floral saddle that Joette made gorgeous? And that could also be used as a centerpiece, so I love that. And there we go. And we're just gonna separate this out here. Bring these down into the middle. And bring this here. And just bring up my flowers. This is why we like to have it wired, so it shapes a little bit better. And now you have this really cute little flower. So wasn't that fun? And let's see, do we have time? Yes, we have time. So I'm going to make another project. And I'm going to, definitely we need to use, and then we have to attach with a glue gun, or glue, you can attach the clip onto the back of your hair bow. So you have a cute little hair bow with this. And I've got to move everything out of the way here. My mini Bowdabra over here. And take my Bowdabra bow wire. And take this. And yeah, it's getting really hot here. I'm in Las Vegas and it's up in the high 80s. So I'm just not looking forward to summer, that's for sure. Oh, that's smart, Maria, that Alexa reminds you. So now all I'm doing, and this is a great way to make a bow using the mesh, and you end up with a really big bow. So all I'm doing, and let's go ahead to the overhead camera, all I'm doing is folding this over. Yeah, I know the saddle was absolutely gorgeous. So if you're just catching us now, definitely want to watch the replay and see the saddle that Joette made at the beginning of the live. And we're just going to fold this back over here. And I think that's going to be big enough, so I'm just going to clip this here. And now take this and scrunch it down in here. So you have a really nice big mesh bow, which would be very hard to do by hand. And now I'm going to make a regular little fold and twist. So this could be a really cool, cute little door bow, or it could actually also be a centerpiece or for a really big wreath. So now I'm going to just take my ribbon here. Let me see which side I want to start with. Okay, so we're going to start over here. I'm going to fold and twist it, fold it back over and twist. And all I'm doing here, this is just how a florist would make a bow, but you don't have to hold it. It's so much easier on your hands. And we're just going to fold and twist. And I'm folding and twisting. And we're going to fold and twist again. So this becomes very simple to make. And we're going to fold and twist. And I love the lemons and the orange slices. I think this ribbon's so pretty. And it is a wired ribbon. So I'm just going to graduate in a little bit here. Or actually, what I'm going to do is just fold this over and then just finish it like this. And take my Bowdabra wand and scrunch everything down. And then take my wire and bring it up here. And again, we have a slip knot, and I'm just going to pull the two ends through my loop, put tight while it's still in the Bowdabra, so that way when I pull it out, I'm not struggling with it. Hi, Sue, you actually made it to the live, though. I don't know why you're not getting your notifications. That's really bizarre. And I'm going to tie a knot, and I'll use that to tie it onto something. And now I'm just going to fluff it out. So fluff, and then I put my fingers in to make my loops really fluffy here. And I'm just going to shape these out like this. And again, I'm going to pull these in opposite directions. And I feel like a loopy bow looks more full if you have four big loops on each side, and then we have the two small ones in the middle there. So you can see how pretty this is and how super easy it was to make. So I want to thank everybody so much for tuning in and joining us. And if you came in at the end, we'll show you how this looks from the front. If you came in at the end, definitely want to watch the replay and see how Joette made her cemetery saddle, which could also be a centerpiece, all in the Bowdabra. It's pretty amazing. So again, thanks so much, everybody, for joining us. And we'll see you next week at 4 p.m. Pacific, 5 Mountain, 6 Central, and 7 Eastern. Thanks, everybody, so much. Bye.